Hi, in this video, I'm talking about the movie The King's Heart, which you can watch here on YouTube on Ruth Kadiri TV on Ruth Kadiri 247. So this movie is an epic village type of movie. So we have this family, the royal family. So the movie opens up with the queen giving birth to a son, the prince, that's the next in line to take the throne from his father. So on the child being born, the dibia of the community comes to tell the king that there's a prophecy that the person who would ascend the throne from him will not be able to father a child, that next king after him would be from another lineage. So he was shocked and, like, what kind of news is that and everything. But that's by the way. So the story basically follows the life of the prince, him growing up and, how he has been told from a very early age that he's going to take the throne, he's going to be king one day, and how his mother makes him feel like he's above everybody. He can act anyhow and he can, do anything and get away with it. With that happening, the king gets to get his own personal maid. This lady, who is around the same age as the prince, was assigned by the queen to be the prince's personal maid. Like, that's what she's going to be doing with the rest of her life, because her mother was the one who was to care for the king when he was growing up. But because of something that happened, the queen chased her away and, punished daughter instead, and she would have to be the son's maid. So yeah, so that was how the story went, and the prince ends up falling in love with this lady. I think he had always, liked her, or probably had a crush on her when they were young, because whenever he sees her talking to somebody or playing with somebody, he always gets very angry. Has this thing of, if she's not with me, she cannot be with anybody else. Yeah. So they grow up, of course, and these feelings for this maid still grows with him. So with that happening, he finally, tells the maid about his feelings for her and, how he would want to marry her and everything. And she was very shocked because she didn't expect that from the prince. And knowing how his mother is, there's no way the queen would, of course, allow her son to get married to a maid. But that's another issue they would have to sort out later on. So now, with that aside, the king finally talks to his family, talks to his wife and his son, because he's sick in his dying bed, and he opens up about the fact that he has another son, another child, like first son from another woman who is the rightful king to ascend the throne after him. And of course, the queen was very upset at that fact, that why would he hide such big secret. That whole thing just changes the whole dynamic, because now there's now this prince somewhere that would come and take the throne when the king passes away. So the mother and son were both very confused, trying to figure out what to do, how to make sure that her son is actually the next king of the kingdom. So that was how they got on the quest of looking for this great one who is known for doing impossible things, known for changing fates and destinies, and just doing very, very crazy things. Yeah. So for them to find him, because he's not somebody that can be easily found, so the maid offered to go in search of this man for the prince, because of her love for the prince. She was ready to do anything, because the prince felt his whole purpose in life was to become king, and if he doesn't do that, he doesn't feel fulfilled. So she goes on the quest to finding this man, where she has to make a very great sacrifice to ensure that her prince becomes king. So yes, I think that is just a bit of what you get to see in this movie, and it is a two-part movie. There is part one and there is part two, because of how interesting the movie is. When I first saw that there were two parts, I was at first taken aback. I was like, okay, hope this would actually be worth it, watching these two movies. But it was actually very, very interesting. Like, you get so engrossed in the storytelling, you get so curious as to what would actually happen. Do you understand? Like, there's a lot of twists, there's a lot of suspense, there's of course the power play in the movie, and just little things here and there that would make you enjoy the movie as a whole. So for the actors in this movie, we have the maid, who is Olama, was played by Ruth Kadiri. She's somebody that is very devoted, very loving, and all of that. But when she falls in love with the prince, she is ready to do anything to make sure he gets what he wants, because she deeply was in love with him, to the extent of making a very severe sacrifice to ensure that this man becomes king. And with the flip side of how everything plays out in part two, how she became queen and how she was indeed a very, very wonderful queen and all the changes that she brought. I really enjoyed, with Kadiri's performance in this movie. Then we have the prince in this movie, who is played by Daniel Etim. It was interesting seeing him in this light. It was very unusual compared to the roles he's usually known for. But in this movie, he was quite annoying because he was like this arrogant, stuck up, rich prince that was just doing anything he wanted to do, just sleeping with as many ladies as he can, acting like a spoilt brat essentially. And he was somebody that would do anything his mother told him to do. He was, should I say, a mommy's boy. From a very early age, he was made to believe that his purpose, the reason why he was born, was to become king. So he found fulfillment in that. Like if he did not become king, then his life was worthless. Imagine him saying if he doesn't become king, that he would, kill himself. He attached everything to the crown. He attached everything to becoming king. So if that is taken away, he doesn't know who he is. But he did really, really well in his role. And the younger prince was played by Kelvin Ezike, who did good. He did who did well, of course. And he, of course, did the whole young prince that was just very arrogant, very, stuck up, very bratty and bossy. So the queen mother was played by Obi Titus. So this woman, she has this thing of, looking down at people. She acted the queen mother role very, very well. Then, of course, the character Icheku, who is a very vital character in this story, who was played by Ujam. This man is such a wonderful actor, honestly. I don't know why I've never really noticed it in his movies, but in this movie, I already got to see him perform so well. So, this guy, Icheku, was the one that, was the great one who, he's known for healing people, doing impossible things. We now get to find out, the plot twist, which actually is that this man, Icheku, is actually the king's first son. So just imagine, like, crazy, right? Just go watch the movie to see how everything plays out. Because I think I've given enough spoilers. But yeah, he did really, really well in the movie. Then, of course, Osiso, who was the wife of the prince, she was, of course, a very interesting character. She, alongside her mother-in-law, Queen Mother, were very despicable together, very mischievous pair. I think that is it for like the main actors. The movie had an array of wonderful actors, honestly, like everybody from the chiefs to Olama's mother to Olama's head maid to, the palace guards. Like everybody did so well in telling this story. So now I think mainly the theme of the movie is, the theme of greed, selfishness, and the extent to which a woman would go to prove her love to somebody. Like women do crazy things for love, and in this movie, you actually get to see that in play. And also, we get to see that regardless of whatever happens, like the truth, you can't hide the truth for so long. The truth would always prevail, the truth would always come out. Like no matter how long it takes, like whatever is hidden will come to light. And yes, so have you seen the movie The King's Hat? It's a very, very, very interesting watch. Despite the fact that it has two parts, it just shows how great of, a movie part one was, that they need to make a sequel for us to see how, the story ends, to see how everything comes to a full circle moment. Yes, so I really, really enjoyed watching this movie, and it's also interesting that it's not only the modern city life movies that we are now seeing on YouTube, but now we get to see a little bit of, village setting movies, epic movies, kingship and all of that, which was very, very interesting to see. And it was also interesting to see how, this maid that the queen mother was talking down at, insulting, and made feel like she's the scum of the earth, was actually the king maker. Like she's the one that holds the power of who actually becomes king between these two princes. And it was just interesting to see how everything plays out, to see how, the power was shifted, and to see how the kingdom became a better place because of, the decisions she made, and to just see how everything happens for a reason, essentially. I think one vital thing I picked up in the movie was the conversation between the two princes when, Cheku was talking to Ifeme and telling him that why does he attach his worth to the crown, to his kingship, that can't, you need to be happy aside the crown. Like there are things in your life that should make you happy, not attaching your happiness to something. That's a very deep thing. Like a lot of the times we attach our happiness to achievements, to a particular thing, but we should find happiness in little things every day, essentially. Yeah. And we should not be greedy, we should not be selfish, we should be content with what we have and be the best version of yourself and just do the best you can do actually. And you know the thing about life, one miniature up, one miniature down. Life just goes whichever way. You can't predict tomorrow. You can't predict what will happen. So imagine the queen mother that was, high and mighty became just an ordinary person. And yeah, so it just actually pays to be good. And you should know that there's always a consequence for any action we take, whether good or bad. And we should learn to live with the choices we have made because there's no do over, there's no taking back. Let me hear your thoughts on the movie The King's Heart in the comment section if you've seen the movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. If you are currently watching any movies here on YouTube, please leave them in the comment section so I'll check them out as well. Ruth Kadiri really, really did a great job in this one, and her acting was 10 over 10. Storytelling, the costume, the set design, like everything, cinematography, the music, the vibe. Like you just feel like you're actually in the village, like you're watching a proper, you know, Igbo movie. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. Check out my other videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.